if you don't, I want to talk about something.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let's play devil's advocate. All right. Let's say there are no registers. Oh. All right. I'll try and demonstrate. Oh. I did wasn't very good because at the top I hit like a change. I didn't do it. But if it oh, right, that just goes up. That went up to a D sharp, right? But there was no register change. So why? Let's say why. Why isn't there no register change there? What's going on? What am I doing?
Okay. So you're doing some wonderful things. You're first of all, we can see that as you ascended into the high notes, you opened your mouth a little more. Your tongue changed a little bit the position. So there were a little slight vocal tract changes of matching the resonance to the pitch, which is again something we are trained to do. And I always say that as someone who, um, again, and as in my music college days, my voice would crack and yodel like a teenage boy. I swear. Because I came from classical background and then I decided I want to sing contemporary like that, and my singer was classical and she was trying to teach me how to do chest voice, and it was like oh my god. so so I was like, even in my speaking voice I would break because my resonance and my larynx was so out of tune with each other, like it was so uncoordinated. um and so today when I try to do this exercise of like going I'm like, I can't make that happen unless I really aim for it. I can't make it break unless I really aim for it because my body has so is so was so good at training to the right um, coordination that it's not there anymore. And that's the amazing thing about our machine, and that it learns so much. I had a presentation that I did about mimicking Beyonce's voice, and the thing when I do the Beyonce thing, it's so hard because when I first did it, I had the way I did it and I had the way Beyonce did it. But once I taught myself a little bit on how Beyonce did it, some of it stuck. And it was really hard to go back to what I did previously because some of it went away. So that's the first thing. The other thing I want to mention is that when we learn to mix and blend, we really learn to rely on higher resonance. We really learn to rely on the energy that you had, so much energy in your voice. You had that ring quality of like a like a really you had that ring at the top notes. And so having that in your resonance is such an important tool. Sometimes we try to rely on just like ah but when we have that something that's a little bit more ringy and has a little bit of either twang or either a bit of that kind of a ring, Christina Aguilera Shakira thing or classical thing. You have that kind of higher frequency. So if we would take you through voice analyzer, we would really see higher frequencies being boosted. That's like one of the secrets as well. If you have that, your voice can rely on something. And so that was the other thing that you were doing so beautifully.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. No, it's just because I had one. I've studied. I got 3 degrees and studied and sang professionally for a long time. I'm so important. No, the reason why I say that is because I was exposed to a lot of different methodologies and ways of thinking. And one, in doing my master's, one camp was always talking about managing your passaggio, and the other camp was like, there's no passaggio if you don't treat it like a passaggio. Say what, and so it's really interesting. And I think if you get good, if you know there's different, we just say, I call it the jungle for fun. If we go into the jungle, you're going to hear, you're going to hear all these different sounds, and the voice is the sound maker too, right? So if we want to be, if we're consistent with one path, then you really don't hit the passaggio because you're not doing any kind of shifting right there, right? You have to develop the coordination, like you said. There are a lot of internal adjustments and activating those harmonics, frequencies that pull you through there. And if you haven't learned how to do that yet there, it's probably not going to work as well. But if you stick to one thing, you have a lot less register or voice breaks or transitional areas. If you're trying to do multiple sounds, let me just, okay, I'm not going to be able to play much of this because we'll
But
get,
yeah, I'm gonna react to this beautiful
jump in.
thing that you said while you're uploading it. Is that first of all, I talked about the vocal folds stretching and going into a different mode, right? So if I do falsetto throughout, ooh, then there's gonna be less of a register break, right? If I try to pull my chest voice, that might be a little bit more of a struggle. But again, psychologically speaking and physically as well, if we learn how to manage that, there is no break. Like if we learn how to navigate through it, the break doesn't exist. And psychologically, that's a really good way to look at it. And when I use those acting and primal sounds sometimes with my students, I always tell them there is no higher note. There is just a better stretch in the morning, or there is no higher note. There is just there's a little bit more of a cry. And so we learn to find that emotionally and psychologically from a place that is not, oh my god, there's a register break. And that is such an important point, because if we become obsessed with those register points, um, it's not healthy for us in our development. But if we learn how to have fun with them, and the other reason why, and I guess that answers, was it Jad? If we answer his questions about the timbre, then yes, just like you said, if we look at timbres as register, like we can, like the organ players would change the keys and everything and say, now the organ is going to sound like this, and that is the register. Now my voice is going to sound like this, and that is the register I'm in. That's another approach to registers, and it's actually really releasing and really cathartic, really, to think about it that way. But yeah, play your demonstration.
No, thanks. I appreciate all of those comments. So, I mean, that's what we want to do here on Voice Masters live stream. Is this is what I like to do. There's a lot of great approaches. There are many great approaches, and if we just can connect the dots for everybody, because in a way everybody's right. People don't like to hear that, but everybody, we're trying to expand our portion of truth and knowledge and what works, while respecting that every singer out there and teacher out there is an individual and has their own way of thinking, feeling, explaining. So every time we hear something slightly different or a different approach, that can really help us do better what we're already doing. So yeah, if you go to, there's a song out, it's Sam Smith, it's Diamonds, and I just want you to listen, and I'm going to show you that this song is constant vocal breaks and not what we tend to think are vocal breaks. I'm going to do, wait. I'm going to skip ahead. Is this the one I got? Oh, going back. Hang on 1 second. Diamonds. Yeah, no, let's do Stay With Me instead. Guess it's true, I'm not good at a one-night stand. Okay. How many times does his voice just go pa 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 pa? I want you to think it, listen to that one more time and tell me if you hear it. Guess it's true, I'm not good at all. Right, one more time. Guess it's true, I'm not good at a one-night stand. Alright, so he's basically going flip, 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 flip. Guess it's true, I'm not good at a one-night stand. And that wasn't exactly correct. But guess it's true, I'm not good at a one-night stand. So if I'm doing that and I'm not as skilled as breaking or flipping these registers, then it's going to be, guess it's true, I'm not good at a one-night stand. It's just going to flip. So this is really constantly controlled back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So that comes back to your your presentation is okay. How does a beginning singer develop the coordination to control this?
Yeah. So again, the wonderful thing, I just love Sam Smith. I love it. And I personally love, even, you have voice breaks examples that are really extreme and also acceptable in country singing, or if you go to the song Zombie, like Zombie, like she really breaks her voice
Yeah,
there, you
yeah,
know. Um, but and again, she learns like a yodel singer, she learns how to manage that and make it beautiful. And a break is a beautiful thing, because emotionally, if I break and I have a meltdown, just going for is beautiful, it's beautiful. um but how do I control it like Sam Smith? Is because he allows those transition happen, first of all, acoustically. Like, guess it's true, I'm no good. Okay, so you've got the transition to an ooh. And ooh will shift your resonance way down. And ooh will take you to something that's a little bit more classical in nature. And he uses that. And he's not trying to say, guess it's true, I'm not good. He's going for, guess it's true, I'm not good. He's really using that ooh. But as Philippe said, if this is someone who's not as trained, guess it's true could really go here and lose the grip completely.
yeah.
And what we
Let
perceive
me jump
as,
in. Let me jump in. Just
yeah,
jump in with you on this. I have a client. He's about 15, and his voice like octaves in the breaks. Guess it's true. Guess it's true. It like flips way up in the stratosphere. And he's like,
yeah,
oh, I'm sorry. You know,
yeah,
and it's this new coordination that has to be reestablished. But it sometimes it's like, wow.
yeah.
So go ahead. Just wanted to share that.
Yeah, yeah, and it's so interesting when it happens. It does happen to female and male singers sometimes. When they investigate a new register, they sometimes pop an octave up, because because their resonance is like, oh, I don't know, or the adduction just drops everything, and so part of it is saying, before I do that change, um I would first of all find the adduction. And if it's Sam Smith, I would go with the low larynx, because that's what he does. And so I would go a little bit more of a sob, and just say, no, 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 and try to hold it. And then from there, move back to the no, 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 no. Try to find the ooh. Okay, because the ooh is hard in the beginning. So I start with a no, with a wider vowel that has some kind of a grip, move back into the ooh with the adduction, and then move from guess it's true, I'm no good, guess it's true, I'm no good. And only when I'm ready, I'm gonna say, okay, now. And that's when I teach a little bit of styling or using breathy voice, I always compare it to a faucet, like when you open a water faucet and you want to let some of the water come out. So when you open the air faucet, just let a little bit come out. Yes, it's true, I'm no good, I don't want, slightly more every time, but not too much so you lose everything. You don't want to have lose control over it. So for me, like for me personally, my approach in investigating and exploring it, um, the artistic stuff, but the registers first from a technical point of view and feeling comfortable, is really finding that comfortable adduction. That it's not just like, oh, I went into the higher register and let everything go. No, I have a little bit of a grip. Oh, that's really interesting. I've never been here before. I think I'm going to stick around and see what happens.
Yeah, it's great. Let's talk about this a little bit more. So sometimes I like to, because I have teenagers and I have a 4-year-old, and it was just she's going to be 5 and she's still experimenting a lot with her voice. But I just noticed when I had my teenagers when they were little, I wasn't so much into all the details of this. I was busy with my own career, but with with her, it's just been interesting to watch her experiment with her voice. And I've thought about it, and little kids they don't care if their voice breaks. My mom wants me to do this. She's all over the place and just having a great time. And on the playground, for many years, up until I think kids, right before puberty or the social pressure starts mounting, kids are free and they're using everything about their voice. They're so skilled. And then they kind of just neglect that for a while, right? And these things happen. So let's. I just thought of this today, but I'm coming up with a new lingo, fun lingo. This isn't scientific lingo, but it's connected to science. So, singing, we have talking about registers and vocal breaks and connecting them. If we see each other on the street and I'm like, "Hey, Ahmad, what's up?" High five. Then it's like, "Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up?" It's a fast break. It's like, bam. And muscularly, we have the TACT muscle, right? These two muscles on the inside that got to work together. So if I go, "Hey," the one's just going, they're just doing that, right? But if I come up to you and say, "Hey, Ahmad, how are you?" And I take your hand and we just kind of do this together. So nice to see you. Yes, we're great. Now these muscles start working together, nice and coordinated. And that's that coordination that gives you seamless transitions and helps you avoid 99.9% of the time these high five vocal breaks.